It started with one photograph, a grainy, harmless college snapshot that was supposed to be just another nostalgic throwback, until someone zoomed in too far. That's when everything broke, because the smiling woman in the back, the one labeled Meghan Markle, class of 2003, didn't quite fit the math. Her classmates, those same faces grinning beside her, are all in their early 50s today. 50s, and Meghan, officially 44. So, what happened? Did time take sides, or did someone rewrite the clock? Now, investigative bulldog Tom Bauer claims he's found the missing proof: university records, alumni data, and a forgotten faculty roster that allegedly exposes a decade-long age lie buried under royal polish. If true, it means the Duchess of Sussex might not just be older than we thought. She might be Hollywood's longest-running illusion. So buckle up, because this isn't a story. It's a cover-up with a crown. It all began, not with a royal scandal or a palace leak, but with a college salsa club photo, a throwback from Northwestern University, tucked away in the archives, labeled somewhere between 2000 and 2003. No one thought twice about it until journalist and royal biographer Tom Bauer took a closer look at what he found didn't fit, because everyone standing around Meghan Markle in that photo, every single smiling face, every group partner, every supposed classmate, is now in their early 50s. They were born between 1970 and 1973, yet Meghan, as the official record tells us, was born in 1981. That's an 8 to 10 year gap. Not 1 or 2 years, but almost a full academic lifetime. Now, sure, 1 or 2 older students in a club wouldn't raise eyebrows, but when the entire group falls in that older age bracket, the story gets strange. It's like walking into a high school yearbook and realizing half the class could have already been married with kids. Bauer, ever the bloodhound for royal inconsistencies, decided to follow the breadcrumbs, and what he uncovered paints a picture that's either deeply misunderstood or disturbingly manufactured. See, the official Meghan timeline is crystal clear, at least on paper. Graduated Immaculate Heart High School in 1999, attended Northwestern right after. Graduated in 2003, but that's where things begin to split, like the parallel timelines trying to coexist, because many of the people from that salsa club list their high school graduations as far back as 1988 or 1989, meaning they should have finished college around 1993, not 2003. So why were they in the same photo, the same club, the same classroom? At first, researchers thought, okay, maybe these were alumni coming back for a reunion, or grad students hanging around a social club. But no, alumni records show these individuals as undergraduate members at the time, which implies they were traditional 4-year students, the same category Meghan fell under. You don't need a detective badge to see the issue. Either Meghan was unusually young for her surroundings, which no one recalls, or she wasn't the age we've been told. And here's where things start to twist like a royal PR spin cycle. Around the same time Bauer was examining the Northwestern archives, fans on Reddit and royal forums started digging too. A few sleuths found old local newspaper clippings and archive directories that list Meghan's name, but not under the year you'd expect. One California public record lists a Rachel M. Markle born in 1977. Another obscure entry lists a Meghan or Markle under a 1976 birth year. Neither entry is verified beyond doubt, but both exist, and that's the kind of breadcrumb that turns a story into a wildfire. Tom Bauer reportedly reached out to Northwestern alumni offices for clarification and was met with polite silence. No comment, no confirmation, just the quiet hum of a machine that knows it doesn't need to answer questions it doesn't like. But silence, in investigative work, speaks louder than any quote, and this silence echoed. So Bauer went deeper. He compared class rosters, club lists, even theater department playbills. Meghan was active in campus theater, right? That's how she built her early resume. But one internal record from the university's 2000-2001 theater catalog lists a Meghan Markle cast in a production either the year before her supposed sophomore year even began, which means either the records are wrong or her timeline is. Now, before anyone screams fake documents, here's the catch: these aren't wild internet screenshots. They're part of the university's official program archives, scanned and uploaded years ago. Nothing in them has been proven fake, yet they don't perfectly align with Meghan's official biography. And that's when the whispers turned into something darker. Because if one document can be off by a year or two, maybe another one can be off by 5. Bauer began asking an uncomfortable question, not just about when Meghan was born, but when her story was rewritten. At what point did the timeline bend? Was it early in Hollywood, when agents needed her to fit a younger casting profile? Or later, when the palace needed the perfect millennial duchess to fit the media narrative? Hollywood, after all, is a place where age is currency. Lying about it isn't scandal, it's strategy. For actresses, shaving 5 years off can mean the difference between lead roles and aging out before you even start. Maybe Meghan's case was no different. A harmless adjustment that snowballed once the crown entered the picture. But if that's all it was, why is every trace of her early adult years so meticulously scrubbed? No photos, no verifiable classmates speaking up, no clear paper trail between her supposed high school graduation and her college debut. Just a handful of polished narratives, perfectly spaced, and conveniently verified by royal-approved media. And that's the moment that stopped being about a number on a birth certificate. It became about control, about the power to curate reality itself. Because when someone can rewrite the details of their own past, down to the year they were born, what else can they edit? Their story, their image, their truth? Tom Bauer didn't stop there. He hinted in interviews and unpublished notes that a certain faculty member from Northwestern reached out anonymously, saying Meghan's enrollment records didn't align with her listed age. The source claimed that some documentation had been updated retroactively around 2002, possibly as part of a data consolidation. Now, was that innocent clerical cleanup or the start of an age rewrite? That's where part 1 closes, right at the edge of exposure. Because if Bauer's findings are true, Meghan's entire coming-of-age story may have been rewritten line by line, pixel by pixel, until the version we know today was the only one left standing. If you thought the Northwestern photo leak was bad, wait until you see what happened next. Because the moment Tom Bauer's team hinted that Meghan's real student records might show her graduating in 1993, the entire internet turned into one giant detective agency. Suddenly, everyone was a forensic expert. People were zooming in on pixelated yearbook scans like they were decoding CIA files. TikTok timelines blew up with side-by-side comparisons. Meghan in her supposed senior year versus her first Hollywood headshots. The captions? Brutal. Same face, same smile, but a decade apart. Something's not adding up, Duchess. And then came the so-called Northwestern whistleblower. A mysterious email account named Truth from Evanston 93 began sending messages to journalists, claiming to have archived documents showing Meghan listed as a returning student in the early 90s. The account disappeared within hours, but the screenshots, they spread like wildfire. Tom Bauer, who was already trending for calling Meghan a master illusionist, allegedly hinted during a podcast that he had verified visual confirmation from the university archives. He didn't say what that meant, but that one phrase sent tabloids into meltdown. The Daily Echo splashed a new headline across its front page, Meghan's Lost Decade, what the records reveal. And just like that, every gossip site from London to Los Angeles declared open season on Meghan's timeline. Twitter sleuths began comparing hairstyles, handwriting, even the fonts on old event posters from Northwestern. One Reddit post claimed she signed a campus flyer in 1993 with the same cursive she used in a 2003 autograph. 10 years, identical penmanship, impossible. Of course, that's ridiculous, but in the internet age, ridiculous sells. Meanwhile, the royal PR machine went into silent mode. No statements, no clarifications, not even a denial. The palace just sat there, frozen, while the media fed off the chaos like piranhas. And the silence only made things worse. Because silence, in royal language, isn't peace. It's guilt wrapped in velvet. Then, out of nowhere, an alleged classmate from Northwestern came forward. A woman named Lydia, who claimed to have been in Meghan's study group, appeared on a late-night talk show, saying, "I remember Meghan vividly. She had this aura, this confidence, like she'd already lived a whole life before college." The audience gasped. The host grinned. And within minutes, Lydia from Northwestern was the internet's newest celebrity. Memes flooded in. Lydia said it. Meghan aged gracefully because she started early. Not a freshman, a veteran. Even mainstream news couldn't resist. BBC analysts called it the most bizarre royal rumor of the decade. American anchors tried to stay neutral, but couldn't help smirking between segments. And through it all, Tom Bauer kept dropping breadcrumbs. He released a teaser photo, grainy, half-shadowed, allegedly showing Meghan in a 1993 campus group shot. Her face was barely visible, but the caption below said enough. Northwestern, class of 93. Spot the Duchess. The internet lost it. Forums exploded with theories. Some swore the woman in the photo was Meghan. Others said it was deepfake propaganda, but nobody could look away. Even Meghan's Hollywood circle began acting strange. A list of friends quietly archived old birthday posts that mentioned her age. One stylist who'd worked with her years ago suddenly deleted an interview where she described Meghan as timeless for someone born in the 70s. That one line, born in the 70s, reignited the storm. By this point, TikTok had turned into an archaeological dig site. Influencers analyzed her baby photos, her childhood handwriting, even the quality of the film used in her family albums. But here's the wild part. Every time someone tried to fact-check the claims, new evidence appeared. A blurry Northwestern ID, a 1992 dorm registry with her name, a so-called alumni newsletter listing her under class of 93. Nothing verifiable, but everything viral. And then, one journalist claimed to have spoken to a retired university employee who admitted, off the record, that certain archives were edited around 2017. 2017, the same year Meghan got engaged to Prince Harry. Coincidence? The internet didn't think so. Royal watchers started whispering about a possible information cleanup done by the palace. Before the engagement, Bauer himself fueled the theory, saying in a radio interview, it's entirely plausible that documents were sanitized. This is a story of power, image, and reinvention, and there it was, the quote that sent shockwaves through the fandom. Power, image, reinvention, 3 words that perfectly describe the Meghan brand. And the reason the world couldn't stop watching her by now, the story had gone international. French tabloids called it Le Mensonge. Royal, Spanish TV labeled her La Duquesse Adele. Tempo, an American late-night host, joked that Meghan had aged better than her Wikipedia page. But behind the laughter was tension, because this wasn't just another tabloid scandal anymore. It was turning into a cultural debate. Was Meghan being unfairly targeted, or had she truly rewritten her past to fit a fairy tale? One British commentator summed it up perfectly. If she did lie, it's not just about age, it's about narrative. She wanted to be seen as modern, not middle-aged, and that's the part that stung the most. Because whether true or not, the scandal wasn't just attacking Meghan's image. It was questioning her entire origin story. By week's end, Tom Bauer teased one last document drop. He wouldn't say what it was, only that it would make the palace very uncomfortable. And that's where part 2 ends, with the world holding its breath, waiting to see if Tom Bauer's final proof would rewrite royal history forever. When Tom Bauer said, the final document will make the palace uncomfortable, he wasn't kidding, because within 48 hours, the internet was on DEFCON 1. Hashtags like hashtag Meghan's real age, hashtag class of 93, and hashtag royal timeline gate exploded across every platform. And then, at exactly 7:03 p.m. London time, the leak dropped. An email, allegedly from a former Northwestern archivist, appeared on a British news forum. Attached were grainy scans of what looked like admissions paperwork. The name on it? Rachel Meghan Markle, enrollment year, 1992. The document looked aged, watermarked, maybe even staged, but to the internet, it was gospel. Within minutes, screenshots hit Reddit, Telegram, and TikTok. The headline practically wrote itself. Tom Bauer uncovers Meghan's true birth year. Palace in shock. And just like that, chaos reignited. Even reputable outlets couldn't resist. Sky News ran a fact-check segment that felt more like a roast. The BBC issued a clarification statement saying the document's authenticity could not be verified, but the damage was done. The court of public opinion had already decided. Meanwhile, palace insiders allegedly went into full lockdown mode. One anonymous aide reportedly told the London Post, "Everyone's panicking. The Queen Consort is furious. Harry's team is scrambling to draft a statement." But no statement came. Not from Meghan, not from Harry, not from anyone inside their Montecito mansion. And that silence, again, said everything. By day 2, the memes were merciless. One viral post showed Meghan's face photoshopped onto a 90s yearbook with the caption, "Senior superlative, most likely to rebrand her decade." Another read, "When you forget which generation you're supposed to belong to, even late-night comedians joined in." Jimmy Kimmel joked, "If Meghan's really in her 50s, she's officially the only royal who's aged in reverse." Stephen Colbert added, plot twist, she didn't marry a prince. She adopted a millennial. The internet howled. The palace stayed silent. But Hollywood started whispering. Reports began surfacing that Netflix producers were reviewing archival footage from the Harry and Meghan documentary. A senior executive allegedly told Variety, "We're just verifying the timelines for accuracy, verifying timelines." Translation, checking if we accidentally filmed a 50-year-old Duchess pretending to be for one. Meanwhile, Tom Bauer appeared on another podcast, sipping tea literally as he dropped yet another cryptic line. It's not about her age, it's about how easily the truth can be edited. That one sentence broke the internet all over again, because now, the scandal had evolved. It wasn't just about Meghan's birth year, it was about the idea of Meghan Markle, the woman who supposedly rebranded reality itself. Influencers began dissecting her entire public image, the humanitarian speeches, the carefully curated Instagram photos, the interviews about authenticity and transparency. One YouTuber summed it up in a single viral clip: if she really lied about her age, then what else did she edit? Her story, her struggle, her truth. And that's where things got dark, because suddenly, the age lie wasn't just a meme, it was being painted as a metaphor for her entire identity. The Duchess, who once preached about owning your truth, was now being accused of manufacturing one. Royal commentators smelled blood. Tabloid front pages screamed, "The Duchess of Deception." Royal truth crisis. Meghan's timeline collapses. Harry defends his wife as internet turns on her. Apparently, Harry was livid, threatening legal action against outlets circulating the fake documents. One insider claimed, "He's furious. He's saying Meghan's being hunted again." But the internet didn't care about fury. It cared about proof. And the more they demanded answers, the quieter Meghan became. By now, her silence had turned from strategy to spectacle. Every day without a statement only added mystery. Was she embarrassed, defiant, or simply letting the circus exhaust itself? Meanwhile, Tom Bauer sat back, smug as ever. He didn't have to release anything else. He'd already won, because the royal image machine, once so tightly controlled, had unraveled into pure chaos. Even rival biographers began circling like vultures. One hinted that Bauer isn't the only one with receipts. Another promised a counter-narrative that would expose the real reason behind the cover-up. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Meghan's age, it was about who controlled the story. And that's the genius of it all. The reason this scandal won't die. Because it doesn't need facts. It thrives on fascination. Every repost, every meme, every what if keeps it alive. In one viral TikTok, a creator put it best: Meghan doesn't have to be lying, we just need to believe she might be. And that's the truth nobody wants to admit. This wasn't about a birth certificate, it was about belief, illusion, and narrative. Because in 2025, the internet isn't about finding truth, it's about owning it. So here we are, Tom Bauer's alleged files circulating on the dark web, Meghan's image being dissected like a crime scene, and the palace trapped in digital quicksand. Nobody knows what's real anymore, and maybe that's exactly how Meghan planned it. The woman who redefined royalty may have just redefined reality itself, and as one anonymous insider allegedly told the Royal Digest, the palace doesn't know whether to fact-check her or just surrender. So, what do you think? Was Meghan Markle really 44? Or has the world been quietly reading the wrong numbers all along? Did the palace scrub her records? Or is this just another royal conspiracy waiting to explode? And if she did rewrite her own timeline, what else could she be hiding? Are we witnessing a masterclass in image control, or a palace cover-up decades in the making? You've seen the photos, the alleged documents, the leaked testimonies. Now it's your turn to decide. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the Duchess of Sussex is the same Meghan we all grew up with? Or is there a hidden version we weren't meant to see? Hit like if this scandal blew your mind. Subscribe for more explosive truths. And turn on notifications, because the next royal revelation could be just around the corner.